Alright guys, what is up? Name is Zack, and this week I've been driving the 2023 Volvo S60 Recharge Ultimate All-Wheel Drive Black Edition. Up front is a 2.0 liter turbocharged inline 4, as well as a plug-in hybrid system, and down below is an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now I am super excited to be making this video for many reasons. The main fact is that I've been driving this car for the last week, and so I have a ton of thoughts about it, tons of experience with it, and I'm excited to share all of that with you today. But if you would like to share your vehicle with me and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form, and I come out to you. But let's get back to that drivetrain, because boy, do we have a lot to talk about. Feel free throughout the video to skip around any of the chapter markers you'll find below. I have a feeling I'm going to be rather chatty. The combustion engine on board is a 2.0 liter turbocharged inline 4. Volvo's been using this style of engine for quite some years, and I actually like it. I like the sound of it, I like the drivability. But what makes this vehicle so special, the recharge portion of the name, comes from the fact that it's a plug-in hybrid. So there is an electric motor on board as well, giving you a combined 455 horsepower. Now, this is the same drivetrain setup as the XC90 that I had for a week back in February, the first press car I ever received. And I love that, and I love this driving feel. It is fast. This car moves, and you can drive almost 40 miles, actually around 40 miles, on pure electricity. So if you don't want to stop at the gas station and your commute is under 40 miles all said and done, you really don't have to. You charge it overnight. Now, on a standard 110 outlet, it's going to take a while to charge. But if you do have 220 at your house, this is going to be a flash, and you're not going to notice it, and you're going to get those 40 miles of basically free driving, which is really, really cool. Now, the 8-speed automatic is pretty good. However, it's very trick with the hybrid system. It's constantly switching in and out of gas mode, electric mode, and I'm not totally sure how the 8-speed automatic handles that, but it does, and it's been rather flawless. Last but not least, about the drivetrain specifically, this is all-wheel drive. So, fuel economy. A lot of people are probably curious about the fuel economy of a plug-in hybrid. Well, I can confidently tell you that it is very, very good. At this current moment, you might see a slightly different number on screen, but at the current moment of talking to you, I am getting 40.4 miles to the gallon average over 278 miles. Again, that number is going to be slightly inflated by the time I shoot the B-roll. This car gets incredible gas mileage, and when you're just using the electric motor, driving around, it will barely touch the gas engine, so you get absurd mile per gallon readings like this and this because you're not using almost any gas at all. So technically, the math is right. It just can only be sustained for about 40 miles at that rate. Similarly, a single tank of gas as well as a full battery got me over 600 miles of range while driving it in a peaceful manner. So the range and MPGs and power are huge, huge benefits here in the Volvo S60 Recharge. But how does it feel to actually drive? It is luxurious. It is a comfortable ride. It is a luxury car through and through. It's nice and quiet around town. It stays in electric mode, and I tell my girlfriend it just whooshes around, which I love. But then again, when you put your foot into it, you have that gasoline turbo engine helping out, and you go. Steering is not too heavy, not too light, kind of a Goldilocks situation. Visibility is pretty good, and overall, the driving experience is the top selling point of this car for me. I absolutely love it. But with that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have all digital gauges. This is shared with the V60 and the XC90 that I reviewed earlier this year. Off to the left, I do have my speedometer, and off to the right, this will change with the different modes. This will be my tachometer, or it'll tell me when I'm charging, when I'm using power, when the engine's on and off, things like that. And then in the center, you can toggle a map or just have it blank. However, when you use Google Maps with Apple CarPlay, it will not let you also have the map up in your gauge cluster. On the steering wheel, on the left, I do have my my cruise control options for my adaptive cruise, as well as steering assist. And off to the right, I have my voice commands, page icon, as well as my skip track and volume selectors. The overall look and feel of the steering wheel, it's a taut leather steering wheel, and I really like it. And like I said, it's not too heavy. Off to the left, I do have a climate control vent, as well as my trunk release, gas cap release, and that's it. Moving on to the door, we have our Bowers & Wilkins speaker, 2 different memory seat options, lock and unlock, and then down below we have the power mirrors and power windows. Moving up into the center, I have my giant Bowers & Wilkins speaker. Now, this is a $3,200 option here in the Volvo S60. And you might be thinking that is way too much to pay for a sound system, and normally I would agree, but in this car, I would say it's worth every single penny. Of all the press cars I've had, of all the vehicles I've driven, and yes, I'm including that Rolls Royce I drove 2 weeks ago, this has the best sound system of any car that I've ever driven. This system as a whole, and that's including the XC90 and the Volvo V60 that I drove that had the same system. Bowers & Wilkins, to date, it's the best. It is the best. It is worth it, worth it, worth it. But moving down, we do have the center screen, and I have some slight beef with this. But overall, the screen is very easy to use. It's very responsive. It's colorful. It's high quality. And I really like all of that. Few things I dislike, however. The climate controls are all ran through the touchscreen, which is fine, they work well, but if you have your map up and you're navigating on Google Maps and you want to change the temperature, you have to back out of your navigation, change your temperature, then come back, and hopefully in that time, you haven't missed your exit. Now, someone recently commented on my V60 video that you can use voice commands to change the temperature and fan speed and things like that. And that is true, you can do that. But I absolutely hate using voice commands in the car. It stops the music. If I'm with anyone, I have to tell everyone to shut up for a second. It's very clunky. When you want to get your spouse's attention, you want to just tap them on the shoulder twice instead of screaming in their ear. Maybe that's just my personal preference, but that's how I feel. I do have a nice backup camera, and the 360 camera is phenomenal. I absolutely love that. I just don't like not having physical climate controls. I do also get heated seats and a heated steering wheel through here. And one of my favorite tricks that Volvo does is that if you go into the menus, you can select the passenger seat, and then you can control from the driver's seat the passenger seat. And so my girlfriend always falls asleep in the car, but she refuses to recline because she says she's not falling asleep. So I just hit this button and I recline the seat back for her so she can sleep comfortably. I also find my drive modes here in the screen. So we have hybrid power, pure, and constant all-wheel drive, which thankfully they're all pretty self-explanatory. Moving down below that screen, we do have a couple of buttons for like defrost, our hazard switch, and of course our volume, which I like. And then moving into the center console, this does come with the optional crystal shifter. Pretty easy to use, pretty simple at this point, very modern. Then we have the engine start stop button. You turn it to the right to turn it on, and you also turn it to the right to turn it off. Little odd there. Then we have our power parking brake and brake hold. Something I love is that the brake hold, once you turn it on, it will be on until you turn it off. Even if you shut the car off, park it for a night, park it for a week, come back later, the auto holding brake will still be activated, which is really nice, and not a lot of cars do that. My personal Mazda 3, I have to hit it every time I drive. But off to the right, we do have cup holders, so we'll do a big friggin' bottle test, and nuh-uh! Then we do get a little center console with a 12-volt outlet and 2 USB-C. So this vehicle does not have any USB-A, it is only USB-C. The seats are very comfortable, they are heated and power, and I've pleasantly enjoyed my week sitting in them. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2023 Volvo S60 Volvo S60 Recharge Ultimate All-Wheel Drive Black Edition, I think is the order. Not totally sure. Way too many words. Anyway, I do have heated seats back here, which is a very nice option, as well as I do have 2 USB-C outlets. I get a center console, push out cup holders as well, and I do have child seat hooks. However, my knees are coming a little close, and actually my left knee is touching the seat in front of me. My head, albeit big, is coming a little close to the ceiling as well. This isn't going to be the most plush, super comfortable back seat that you would see out of like a 7 Series BMW, but that's not really the target market that they're going for here. This is just above $60,000, which is still a good chunk of change, but it's not like this like big luxury type thing. So back seats are fine. They're definitely usable, definitely manageable, and you'll be fine in 90% of circumstances. Just don't expect the entire world. Let's hop out. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, around the back of the S60, not gonna say the rest, pop it up like that, and this is actually the charging cable. But once we are back here, and these are my SD cards, once we're back here, we can pull this up. We don't get any spare tire. We just have a fix-a-flat sort of bottle, and I'm not a big fan of that. But as you can see, there's battery packs and things like that, so unfortunately that takes up the space. Over here, however, I do have a 12-volt outlet, which is a little bit rarer to see in sedans as opposed to more SUVs have that. Definitely nice to see, and I get these little cargo nets, or at least this one cargo net over here. Overall, not crazy space in the back of the S60, but definitely very, very good amount of space in the back of the S60. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and this is the black edition of the S60. And every person that I have picked up or shown this car to has complimented on how sleek and stylish this car looks. I personally disagree with everyone around me. I don't really like how dark this car is. Yes, it does look sleek, but as you'll see here, it is a magnet for pollen and dust, and so I had to wash this car while I had it several times while making this video just to keep it clean and dust free. So, as sleek and as cool as this car looks, I personally wouldn't spec it with the black package just because it's just so dark. And if you park it in a shadow, you're gonna lose all the details that make this car interesting to look at. But that's just my cup of tea. But with all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the Volvo S60 Recharge all-wheel drive Ultimate Black Edition for the last 7 days? Well, I have to say it's been an overwhelmingly positive experience. I love the way this car drives. I love the way the sound system sounds. I love all the tech in here. It's quiet, it's comfy. It does everything I really want it to do. I have thoroughly enjoyed Volvo's products over the last couple of months. So far, this is my 3rd press car I've received from Volvo, and I have a 4th on the list later this summer, which I am also looking forward to. The only downside to this S60 that I see is the drivetrain. And let me be clear, the drivetrain works wonderfully. It's very enjoyable, it's quick, it's efficient. Like I said with those MPG numbers, you just can't really beat it. What worries me is the longevity. With the turbocharged 4-cylinder under the hood and the plug-in hybrid, that's a lot of moving parts to just make this car move forward. And so I do start to worry about long-term reliability. Is this going to be a smart investment at 100,000 miles, 200,000 miles? Will it make it there? And that's something that I'm not 100% sure of. If you lease cars, lease one of these yesterday. You will not regret it, and it's been fantastic. But if you're watching this video several years down the road, you found one with 200,000 miles on it, you might want to be just a little weary. There's a lot of business under that hood, and I'm not sure it'll all still be good. So, for my money, if I were to spend my own hard-earned dollars on an automobile from Volvo, I would pick the V60 Cross Country that I drove a little while back. It has the same 2-liter turbo, however, it does not have the hybrid system. It's still got pretty good miles per gallon. I'll put on the screen here what it was. I don't remember off the top of my head. It still looks the part, drives great. It's a similar price. You could still get it with the Bowers & Wilkins sound system that I love oh so much. And you'll just have one less system to worry about as the car ages. And that is worth more than its weight in gold. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Volvo for sending me this vehicle for the week, as well as, of course, all of the team over at Drive Shop and the Midwestern Automotive Media Association. They are rock stars for making this video possible, and I cannot thank them all enough. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.